Vegas Sportsline.
With John Lyons from Lyons Physical Therapy. So why are physical therapists often the best option to see after you get hurt?
Dave, we specialize in musculoskeletal disorders, which essentially means injuries to muscle, bone, and soft tissue, which are the majority of injuries. So we can identify what the pain source is, and if an appropriate referral needs to be made to, say, an orthopedic surgeon, a neurologist, a pain management specialist. So we can do an in-depth screen of the injury and then refer it out to an appropriate medical provider if necessary.
LionsPTLV.com, 702-476-0222.
Hello, friends. This is Thomas Johnson from Joe's Seafood Prime Steak and Stone Crab. Need a great idea for lunch or dinner? Your best bet is Joe's, one of the most popular dining destinations on the Strip. Joe's provides the ideal setting for private parties with accommodations for up to 150 guests. Stop by to see us at the Forum Shops at Caesars and ask for Thomas Johnson, your maitre d'.
So, and I saw Thomas Johnson last week when we had Jason Brinkson. After the show, it's like, let's get something to eat. Well, down to Joe's. Okay, so now a day goes by, and he's got some friends coming into town. That's my I've got the thing vibrating and doing all kinds of things. It's just, sorry about that. So he goes again the next night with somebody else who's in town who had never been there before. Now that person's raving about it. So, this place is amazing. It is. Go. And now, the tourists aren't as much in town for the next few days. So make a reservation now. Get down there and have a great time at Joe's, 702-792-9222. Ralph Michaels provides us with our Joe's Angle of the Day. And what do we have today, Marco?
Well, we're going to go to the NBA. You've got Oklahoma City at Memphis. Big game for Oklahoma City. They're jockeying for position where they're going to be in the playoffs. But the angle says we're going to take the home dog. Memphis is 8-2 against the spread as a home dog, while Oklahoma City is just 1-8 against the spread, their last 9 as a favorite. So we're on Memphis plus the 7 tonight in the NBA.
Time for us to look at some of tonight's action, and we will do so in the Monday edition of the MJ Christensen 4 at 4.
1, 2, 3 into the 4.
Put them fours up. Put the fours up, I said. Do it right now.
Tonight's action is just around the bend, and the guys want to get your night off to a great start.
4.
It's the Las Vegas Sportsline's 4 at 4.
Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4. Unbelievable.
It is brought to you every day by MJ Christensen, located at Boca Park, and March Madness is pretty cool, but coming up in April, a really big event where you can save a lot of money with some of the best specials you are ever going to find in the world of jewelry. And we're talking about fine jewelry here. Great service. Selection is unbelievable. The store itself is gorgeous. It'll be the 80th anniversary special for MJ Christensen throughout the month of April. And we'll tell you more about it when we get to April. We have a matchup in the Nobody's Interested tournament tonight, also known as the NIT. Norfolk State playing Colorado. The Buffalo's a pretty good-sized favorite here, but Marco, that's a big line for a Pac-12 team to be spotting. It's not a good conference. And do I think Colorado's going to win the game? Yes. That number's big.
Yeah, and you look, Norfolk State, they upset Alabama in the first round. But, Dave, I don't know about you, but when I look at the first-round games in the NIT, I don't put too much into it because you have a situation. Was Alabama really happy to be in the NIT?
And apparently not, because they fired Avery Johnson.
Okay. Then you also have the fact you got that quick turnaround where you're playing a team that you've never seen before, and you got to do it sometimes in 2 days or 3 days max because, the pairings come out after the big dance is announced. So I don't put stock in it. I think Colorado wins this game. Do I want to lay 14? I agree with you, no. But I don't want to take the dog in this one. Colorado has been playing good defense down the stretch. They've held 5 of their last 7 opponents to under 39% shooting.
Different animal at home, too.
Yeah.
There's a big home road dichotomy with them. NBA tonight, 76ers taking on the Magic. I don't even know why I put this one on here.
It's not much on the card.
Well, I should have put the Bruins and Lightning on because that's really the big game in the NHL, but I put another one on instead because that's what I actually have a good opinion on.
Well, there's actually playoff implications here. Orlando's fighting for the playoff spot, but they've got
How is that possible?
It's because there's a lot of bad teams at the bottom of the East, okay? Because the team they're battling for the final playoff spot, they play tomorrow night, Miami. So this is a tough spot for them. They got to win this game tonight to stay right there with Miami. Then they got the big game tomorrow. But Philadelphia, how many times have we told you this story with them? They roll off 6 wins in a row. They beat Boston in the previous game, and what do? Last game, they go out on the road and lose at Atlanta.
There's still a maturity level issue on this team.
Absolutely. So with that said, you would expect to get the best effort tonight. The early money has come in on Orlando because they are in that must-win situation, but I lean to Philly. I think the value's with them tonight.
Nets and Blazers, I do kind of like this Nets team. They're a hard-working team, and Portland's a little better than they are, and they're at home. But if Portland overlooks them at all, they can get beat. And we know one thing about the Nets. They don't give up in games.
No, Portland's playing well right now. They're 6-1 straight up, Dave, but they're only 3-4 against the spread. This is the final game of their homestand, and then they go out on a 4-game road trip. They're a team trying to hold on to the 4th spot, and we know the 4th seed obviously gives you the home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs. So they got something to play for. But I just don't trust laying the number with them. Where I'm going to go here is I'm going to go to the under in this game. Brooklyn has gone under in 7 of their last 9 games, and after scoring 110 points or more 2 straight games this season, Brooklyn's 15-4 to the under in their next game. I'm going under 223.5.
Playoff implications for the Predators and Wild. Nashville's probably not going to win their division now. That was a bad loss for them at Winnipeg over the weekend. They lost 5-0. They had a goal taken off the board when it was, I think, 1-0, and they just kind of mailed it in the rest of the way. Nashville's offense back in a hibernation the last 2 games, only 1 goal in 2 games. But this Minnesota team, now you want a classic example of why must-win isn't play on. They've been in must-win for a while because they're battling for one of those wild card spots in the Western Conference. 3 wins in their last 10 games. No Parisi on the ice for the Wild tonight. Nashville looks to me to be the right side, even as a road favorite.
I agree with you, Dave. And you talked about Minnesota having trouble putting the puck in the net. They've scored 2 goals or less in 7 of their last 8 games. You're not going to win games that way, and not against Nashville. I'll go ahead and take Nashville. Nashville is 25-10 after scoring 2 goals or less in 2 straight games the last 3 seasons. I'll take Nashville. They're the better team.
We have to tighten up the MLB previews because we're running out of time before the start of the season. So we're going to wrap up the National League tonight with the Cardinals and the Washington Nationals. Cardinals are legit if the pitching holds up, and that's the question. They got an unexpectedly great performance out of Michaelis last year. 2 of the kids really stepped forward, particularly Flaherty, and pitched extremely well. There could be some regression there. I think he's got great stuff, but he might not match last year's numbers. They're going to rake, though. And if they can get people out, I think St. Louis can win that division.
I do think they win the division. In fact, I did the podcast this morning with the Prez. We did the National League, and one of the plays I gave out, Dave, was St. Louis to win the division plus 200. You can get 200, 205 around town. I think they're the team to beat. I think Milwaukee takes a regression in that division, and I don't think the Cubs are as good as they've been.
I played the Cubs under the total.
So I like St. Louis over season win total, and I like St. Louis to win the division.
Washington Nationals obviously don't have Bryce Harper anymore. But, the cupboard's not exactly bare there. No. There's still some quality, and you wonder if now that some of the expectations are lower, are the Nationals maybe more dangerous this season? There's still some really good talent on this team.
I agree with you 100%, Dave. This is a team that I think that they're worth a price to win the division because the love is shifting to Atlanta and Philadelphia.
And I'm not sure why in Atlanta because, I like the team, but that starting rotation going into the season, they get 3/5 of that rotation is very dicey.
Absolutely. And you talk about, losing Bryce Harper. You lose Bryce Harper, but you get Victor Robles. This guy was one of the top prospects in baseball. He's going to be there for the full season. You got Soto, who's had a great year last year.
Sensational rookie last year.
So that outfield's going to be good, and they're going to have some power. I like them. You got the best starting 2, if they're healthy. You get Strasburg and Scherzer there for the start, and then you add Corbin to the mix that they got. This is a team that I think, as you said, the pressure's not on them this year because they're not the favorite.
Phillies have the pressure now.
Right.
And if Gabe Kapler gets off to a slow start, he's going to get fired. Okay? The one negative I have of the Nationals, I thought Dave Martinez, how many times did I say this last year? Yeah. I thought his in-game managing was some of the worst I've ever seen. Literally some of the worst I've ever seen. And that he has to get better at making decisions in the game.
Can't get worse.
I think he cost them 5 wins last year.
Very well could have. I like him. That's my team to come out of the East.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. We will look at our marquee matchup. You ought to know what that is. It's the Golden Knights on the road at the Blues. Next. I got my brand new Shinola watch at MJ Christensen. Absolutely love it.
Shinola is an incredible American story. It talks about what happens when industry comes back to America. This visionary hired 70-some-odd people off of welfare. One person that was making minimum wage for 4 years is now the spokesperson for the company. Go on their website, Shinola Watches, and who's the distributor here? Only MJ Christensen Diamonds.
MJ Christensen, located at Boca Park. What's hot today? It's time for the Wager Talk Marquee Matchup of the Night with Marco D'Angelo. WagerTalk.com. Start winning now.
And then become a movie star with that name. Yeah? That'd be pretty good. All right. The St. Louis Blues, their season turned around when they fired the coach and brought in Berube. They've gotten a lot grittier and tougher. And they're a good hockey team right now. So this is a challenge for the Golden Knights tonight, who once again will turn to Malcolm Subban with Fleury still a little bit dinged up. All right. Get him as much rest as he needs right now. Malcolm's done pretty well. Look, they lost the Red Wings. Okay, the whole team wasn't sharp that night. Prior to that, he was coming off his first NHL shutout. So I think he's done a good job. And I think there's going to be support for the Golden Knights at the windows tonight as a road dog. Not going to be mine. I'm not going to bet the game, but I can see the Golden Knights getting some play tonight.
Well, you talk about the turnaround with St. Louis, and obviously the firing of the coach was part of it. I think the bigger part of it was
it's like, get out of here.
Yeah, I think putting Binnington in net was
huge.
The big. This kid has been unbelievable.
And never saw it coming because he'd been basically, career minor leaguer.
They're 20-5 in his 25 starts. He's been sensational in the net. And for Vegas, that was a wake-up call on Saturday night.
Yeah.
They went in there. Yes, they had some injuries. Pacioretty wasn't in the lineup. Bellemare wasn't in. They're both listed as questionable for tonight. That makes a difference on the line, too. But this is a spot where I can't go in front of St. Louis. That goalie is just too hot for me. Subban played well, even though they lost. It was a game. They just didn't have. It was like they didn't have life.
They were flat. Yep,
absolutely. And I wish it would have taken a big set of to bet
I
Detroit.
Didn't do it. I had,
but it was that spot. Subban coming off his first career shutout.
I'm not sure anybody should be 4-1. I mean, that's just crazy.
Do you know that I was with Brian Leonard on Saturday when we were watching the game? I said, what was the puck line in this one? You could have got plus money on the puck, plus 1.5. How often do you see that day?
Not very often.
That's plus EV. So, but tonight for me, I'm looking at this one. I will tell you this much: Vegas is 12-2 when revenging a home loss versus an opponent this season, and they did lose to St. Louis earlier in the season. That's the only thing there. But it's just not a spot. I'm not going to play the game.
I think they're coming to play tonight, though.
They're coming to play, and that's why I'm not doing it. I'm going to be rooting for the Knights. Be somewhere watching it, maybe having a plate of chicken wings and a cold beverage.
There you go. I know I'm watching that in the Bruins Lightning, that's a real good game tonight.
You're not watching the NIT?
No. Because for me, it is the nobody's interested tournament, NIT. $9 Monday at Wager Talk. I put up a couple plays myself, one on a college basketball play that I think 8 people might watch if they can find it someplace. It's not, no. And I do have a hockey game up, but we already talked about that. It's the Nashville. So, if you want to spend the $9 for a play that you already know, go ahead. Otherwise, get somebody else's picks. Get Marco's.
Well, I have one college basketball play up, and Dave, I know you had a great.
It's been a good
March Madness. Good.
Knock on wood. It's been good.
I'm going to double knock on wood. 9-1 we went since Thursday, and one play tonight, and hope we can keep it rolling tonight in college basketball.
Let's go to our Lions Physical Therapy Play of the Day.
It's the LPT Play of the Day. Tonight's best bet from Lions Physical Therapy. Your 5-star rated specialists.
And, if you've had a personal injury, maybe as a result of a car accident, something like that, or if you've had surgery and you need post-surgery rehab, we talk about it all the time. Nobody's got higher ratings that I know of than Lions Physical Therapy. They've got a great following. John Lyons has a great staff, and they're going to make you feel good again, and they know what they're doing. Loads of experience and expertise at Lions Physical Therapy. Call for more information, 476-0222. Also, an interesting thing in this Nashville-Minnesota game tonight.